And there we go, over to the newsroom where Mona Masahi is there for us. Mona.
Right, thank you so much, Mark. And for further analysis, we're joined from Cairo by Al-Ahram newspaper managing editor Mohammed Izzeddin. Good evening to you, sir, and welcome to Qnews. And after the Cairo meetings and the pledge to withdraw Israeli forces, lift the blockade, and reopen crossings, what diplomatic path and which guarantors can turn these commitments into actions on a clear timeline?
Hosting me on Qnews, of course. The Egyptian efforts are many, in addition to mediators and the U.S. Constant pressure, and also the remarks of the U.S. Secretary of State of the Israel Foreign Minister, that there is a necessity to uphold ceasefire and start the upcoming periods, the meetings of the Palestinian factions in Egypt during the last few hours resulted in new opening to Palestinian pressure, in addition to the ability to continue more cooperation among all Palestinian factions and also Palestinian Authority, in order not to reach a blockade again, and to uphold ceasefire and to swiftly start new phases of reconstruction, in addition to challenges, what we can call the concern of the Commission of Stability or Governing Gaza in the next period. Of course, these results are positive, and I think I expect more upcoming positive results in the next few hours and days.
Now, the functions agreed on a temporary committee of independent technocrats for Gaza. Now, how can this arrangement gain broad recognition, and how to avoid becoming a new point for rivalry?
Let me tell you something. The main contingent points, or the main consensus points, is very encouraging. What happened in the past after October 7th war, many of this have changed. That's why we have seen with the Egypt's efforts, the pressure to de-escalate the issue and solve the crisis by the Egyptian leader, made an agreement to form the committee governing the Gaza, including technocrats far away from the different or the disagreement points, indicating that there is an acknowledgement from Palestine and the factions, the key factions, Fatah and Hamas, Jihad and others, that they agree not to hinder the peace future in the region. I think this is a good initiative, and I do not think that announcement, certain names will be of hinder as in the past. I think the consensus is good, and once again, if it wasn't for Egypt's efforts and an Egyptian intelligence to host these meetings, especially in this time after Sharm el-Sheikh's meetings, we wouldn't have had an agreement as happened with the factions' presence in regards to the transitional period in the upcoming period.
Right. Israel advanced bills in the Knesset linked to the annexation in the West Bank. Now, what are the regional and legal consequences if annexation returns, and how should Arab and European capitals respond to that?
Simply, let me tell you something. Today, in a meeting for the U.S. State of Secretaries, announced it, said it's illegal, answering the questions of press agencies. Egypt also opposes still the spark of the crisis, and even before any attempt to liquidate the Palestinian cause, whether by annexing in lands in the West Bank or seizing lands in Gaza, and an attempt to displace its people. And I think always with this, in addition to our brothers in Arab brothers and international institutions in Arab League, we played a pivotal role in this regard on the leadership level, and President Sisi adopted any attempt any attempt to liquidate the Palestinian cause. With this catastrophic situation, I do not think there is an international consensus, or even on the Knesset level, which is an administrative step that is not ratified on ground because it's illegal and will not be supported by the US or the international community. We have to pressure, we have to announce constantly, whether from the Palestinian parties, and of course Egypt announces the rejection of annexing West Bank lands or seizing new lands in Gaza or liquidating or displacing Palestinians. It's catastrophic now, and there must be a heading towards reconstruction and aid delivery for the next period.
Now, even U.S. President Donald Trump said or stated in press conference that Israel is not going to do anything on the annexation, and he said that Israel will not annex the West Bank. While Washington also speaks about a possible international presence in Gaza. Now, from your point of view, will Israel be obliged to the statements of the United States, or what the United States has stated? And if not, we are aware that Egypt, Jordan, Turkey, the European Union, and Qatar, and the United States, they are all against such a step of the annexation. What kind of steps we can be seeing at this upcoming stage in this regard?
Of course, even without the U.S. President, what the far right is doing and the extreme current government is doing is the most extremist steps. This is why it has to be opposed strongly and stand in front of international gatherings. And Egypt succeeded in changing the U.S. support, the indefinite U.S. support to Israel, and showing the truth, whether to Europe or to international community or the U.S. Even it's adopted Trump's plan based on Egyptian plan of reconstruction, and it's now about the constant international efforts in order not to take these measures, and also internally not to give any excuse or any pretext to, whether from the Palestinian factions or the parties of reconstruction, because the next period is critical, and funding the reconstruction of Gaza needs international consensus, in addition to Palestinian unity, standing in front of any attempts by Israel to annex lands or to hurdle the path of development and reconstruction. and of course hindering the aid delivery, because reconstruction materials are prevented from entering, and also heavy materials to lift the debris. There is a great effort exerted to reconstruction, in addition to diplomatic and political efforts to prevent implementing expansion plans, annexation plans, and liquidating the Palestinian cause by Israel.